Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a game week where we all regret decisions from what happened last week. It's Game Week 26. We're back with another podcast. It's Added Time FPL, Fantasy Premier League tips. It's Mike, it's Nate. It's been bad. It's been a triple captain
It's
nightmare.
it's just the tips, but I don't know what happened to these tips. They turned into rotten chips because that chip was rotten. There was foul. Something's foul in the state of Denmark, and it is the triple captain chip. You played, I
Uh,
played, and
Everyone
everybody
played.
else's
Like a
mother played.
million managers played.
Which
Um,
is the only ray of shining light is that on average nobody did well with their triple captain this week,
yeah, yeah. So
and
it's like it's not the end of the world, but also it's the chip that you're supposed to score big with. It was your chance to catch me as well.
yeah, no, and I had visions of my 2 years ago KDB triple captain where I scored 90 points or something insane, and I thought this was it. This is the moment I win.
And then he gets
And
benched in the second game, and
can I just go through all my calculations? Because as everybody who listened last week, they know I was saying Salah is the pick. Okay, that's what we said, right? I
yeah,
said
that's what we said.
Salah is the pick. So I'm sitting there. I'm making my final changes. Now I'm starting to do calculations in my head. I'm saying, okay, if Salah has just come back from the injury, that's a mark against him. He may not play both games, which he
Yes.
didn't, and now he's re-injured. I went Haaland. There was something about Haaland going to his granny's funeral that came up
Oh,
for that second match, so that he might be because his granny passed away, so he might be going to meet with his family, and then maybe he'll be back for the bigger game after the second half of the game week, which kind of happened because he didn't really. Did he feature? He scored though, so he stayed and he
yeah, he
scored.
scored. He was
So
my only
that
saving
was
grace.
the failure for me is what I didn't go with Haaland because I thought he might have some bereavement leave. Then I said KDB. Okay, this guy has been scoring consistently, and City, if they lack Haaland, they're gonna need KDB.
Mm.
What I didn't factor into my equation was the fact that City were playing 3 games every 3 to 4 days, and Pep said very clearly he was going to manage Kevin De Bruyne. There was no way Kevin De Bruyne was going to play both those games 19 minutes, and so I failed. My math failed. And really, the answer to that equation is not who was the best triple captain pick. It was no one was the best triple captain pick.
No. Um, and I'm annoyed because I was going to play bench boost that game week. And had I stuck to that plan, I would have got Watkins 13 points. I would have got Van Heck 6 points. But I decided against it because I had Porro on the bench, which was injured. So I thought, well, I'm not going to get the maximum points out of my bench boost. I'll just triple captain. And I triple captain Holland and it didn't pay off. And I'm sure most managers triple captain Holland and it didn't pay off. But I will say fair play to Chelsea for holding them back to a 1-1 draw. That's great for us as supporters, not necessarily FPL managers. Um, but yeah, I
That's
guess
the problem. I I we spoke about this. I said Chelsea were in form right now. I wasn't banking on that game. But you see, my math didn't go far enough because my math was telling me Chelsea's not the game to rely on the next game. But my math didn't make it full circle to say, but Kevin De Bruyne is not playing 2 games in a row.
yeah,
Kevin De Bruyne is playing the tougher game. He's not playing the easier game.
yeah.
So,
Well, and then on top of it all, not only the triple captain fail, but then Jota goes and gets himself injured. And I think Nunes got taken off with a bit of a problem as well, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, not Nunez is injured, Jota injured, which is all great news for Chelsea
It
this
is.
weekend.
And Klopp is fuming. Klopp is fuming. But like it was a disaster of a game week. Like if it wasn't for the triple captain, I'd argue you wouldn't have made any points
Yeah, that's true.
for
Well,
the people that captain Holland. I mean, it was a bit of a. It didn't go to plan. It didn't go to plan. So
Uh,
I want to ask
Darwin
you.
is the,
Yeah.
my problem is Darwin.
Well,
My
this is what I
problem is
was going to
Darwin.
ask you. How does a manager recover from an abysmal game week 25 going into the
You have
next weekend?
you have two options.
You delete your account.
Option no, that's three options.
Okay, okay.
Option A, delete your account, find a new hobby, go play
Go
FPL,
touch some grass.
fantasy football, Premier League, and go play football, American football fantasy,
Yeah.
or something like that. That's over now. Anyways, or option B, you be stubborn. you stick with your guns, and
Mm.
you trust and have faith in your decisions you made for their long-term playability, not their short-term gains. For example, yes, I have Darwin. Yes, he's injured right now. Does that mean I must take him out, or did I bring him in for a reason? Did I only bring him in for the game week? If I only brought him in for the double game week, then there's something wrong with my strategy. I need to be thinking ahead, unless I
Mm.
had a wild
Mm.
card
Mm.
that I'd planned in. Option three is you put your hands up and you go, I stuffed up.
Yeah,
I stuffed up.
the game's a
And
game, and
so you make some changes and you take the people out that you brought back in. And I normally go with stubbornness, and it doesn't work. Oftentimes I think it's better to just go put your hands up and say I made a mistake and cost yourself negative four and fix your mistakes versus waiting 3 weeks holding gross for points that don't even touch suckers points because that's what happened to me.
yeah. Well, my plan was always to then off. Well, I was the ones that put Nunez in. I mean, I had him before the double game week. I had him for like a good few weeks run, but I put him in for the double game week coming up as well as Jota. Now that they're both out, I was always planning to take them both out anyway because of the blank, and I was planning to look at bringing back two different players that I had before, in place of them. So my strategy's not really affected them with their injury out because I was always going to get rid of them, but it did affect my points in the game week. So I'm not too disappointed with the outcome. It could have been worse. You still got more than 70 points. You can't really be mad. Yes, it's a triple captain. You should be getting a 100 club, but the game's a game. You get the points that you get, and you don't get upset. So we move on.
I just think that it's gonna be interesting to see what they do versus Chelsea on the weekend. How many of them play, and then what everybody like. It's almost like the double game week was we thought was going to be the most important, but it's not a double game week that's going to be important.
It's
It's
this game
this
week.
blank one
Yeah.
because the how we recover with between if you get let's say 150 points between both of the game weeks, I think you're okay. I think you're good,
Yeah.
right?
Oh.
But
Because
if you
that's a
end up
70
getting
and a 80 or something. It's a good.
if you get 100 points over the 2 game weeks, nah, you failed. You failed the mission.
Yeah.
You missed the mark.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so it's actually don't be upset about missing your double game week triple captain. Be
Because your plan should have taken into account this blank game week as well. So
exactly. So like for me, am I taking a -4 to to move two players on, or am I going to play my free hit? I don't know. I think everything if I've seen so far is telling me that I can't predict what my free hit's going to do. If we were playing a free hit, Mr.
mm.
Nathan, if everybody was playing their free hit this week, who would be some of the players you think must be in your free hit team this week?
I would say Hoyland, but he's just picked up an injury.
Oh
So
man.
I will go with Garnacho and Dallo. So I'd go double United because we've got no Chelsea, no Liverpool. So we've got some assets to play around with. So I think I'd look there. I'd look at Dallo and Garnacho. It would have been a Hoyland as well, but I mean he's out, so but that would be my way of
You
thinking.
think we've been avoiding Man United assets? You
We
think it's
have.
finally time?
It might be, but with Hoyland being injured and him just finding form, shame poor lad. I don't know how that's going to change the dynamic of the team again. Because can they score without him?
What about
Probably.
Bruno?
You don't know about Bruno.
We don't talk about
We
Bruno.
don't, you don't know, and you don't talk about Bruno.
He had a shot that was saved by a last-ditch effort from the defender against I can't remember the defender's name. It was against Luton. He had a shot and he was it was open goals. He had turned the goalkeeper and the defender slid in and saved it. So he almost on the score sheet for United and for FPL. So I don't know. Like, are you saying a free hit so that one and done against Fulham and then back out again?
Yeah, because the thing is, you're not gonna stick with them when Salah's back, when Son is back, when Palmer is back, when um, Haaland is back, and like it's just you can't really afford Hoyland, Garnacho, and Dallo. I'd argue keep Dallo because Porro's now out and Walker's a bit of a hit and miss, so maybe him. But I mean, who you gonna? That's why I said. Remember, I said this a few weeks ago that Garnacho is going to become the new Haaland in points because he's 4.7 or something, 4.9, and now he's skyrocketing. So he could just do that for a couple of game weeks. But I mean, if you were to ask me Palmer or Garnacho, I'm taking Palmer every day of the week. So where do you put him in? So free hit seems
Hmm.
like the most likely choice for that kind of
What about
direction.
Watkins? You still got Watkins.
I still got Watkins and I benched him. He was supposed to be a bench boost, but it didn't do that, and he cost me some points. But I still
He's
have
got a
him.
good. He's got a good fixture against Forest, so you sort of okay there then,
Yeah,
because you've still got Watkins who can give you some points versus Forrest. He got that 13 points and 18 points over 3 game weeks. He scored over 30 points. So I mean, he's
yeah.
scoring the last
He
four
wants
game weeks.
to.
He
He
scored
wants to
over
go to
20 points a
Euros.
week.
He wants to go to Euros. um,
He doesn't have the worst fixtures either. This is where I'm starting to go. Maybe I should say I made a mistake and go Darwin back to Watkins.
well, I'm going Darwin back to Solanke because Solanke has also been firing.
Solanke is going to have the nice fixtures coming up to not this week, but after that he's got a run of green,
Mm.
which means nothing anymore. But anyways,
Well, he's form. He's found form. So maybe he's in a
he's
bit of
got
a
four.
purple patch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because I've already got the Watkins and Holland, so I'm gonna get rid of Darwin Nunez and bring in Dominic Solanke this week, and I have to deal with Jota as well. So I'll be taking out Jota and bringing back an old faithful favorite from Nate is Jarrod Bowen.
Bowen,
Good old
what kind
Bowen.
of? When does this come from? What has Bowen been doing? I think he fell off my radar a long time ago.
Bowen's
He
cooking in the
hasn't scored
kitchen.
anything for the last 3 game weeks.
No, no, but I just have a feeling. I think it's time. I think I got to bring him
See,
back. See, I was looking at
no
like,
evidence.
yeah, I
Just
know,
playing with
but
the heart of the cards.
the heart of the cards, man, the heart of the cards. Um, like I could bring Bowen back in, or I could bring a cheaper like 6.1, maybe bring in Gordon back. Um, that way I can fit in Salah again. But I'm not planning to go back to Salah because he also just picked up an injury again. I'll be going back to Son, so that's why I have the money if I go Bowen. It would have been Gordon, but Salah picked up another injury. So, but those two are on my radar for midfielders.
Yeah. Can I just say that I don't know if you still have him, but I made a mistake, and I'm sorry, Starboy. And I think Saka is a must-have. He should have been a must-have. He was a must-have. He will always remain a must-have for the rest of the season. Why I took him out, I don't know, but it was a mistake. I
I've had
still
him
think
since
I've
game
got.
week one. Just by the way,
Yeah, yeah,
I
I
haven't.
know, I know.
No, I'm not saying it like that. Um,
You I played roulette with him. You kept him steady, and now I got shot in the face. So yeah, Saka is a must-have. I just don't know how to fit him in my team. Like I
he's
think the only way to
expensive
fit him,
now. He's very expensive.
the only way to fit him in my team would be to release maybe Foden
Ooh,
and go down to two Man City assets. But those two Man City assets aren't as reliable as they used to be. And Man City don't have the best fixtures coming up too, and they're not looking the strongest they've ever looked.
I need to just say something, and it's quite. I think it's a sensitive topic for FPL managers based on price rising. Is that Haaland is going to go up again tonight, and he's going to be 14.5 million. Is that too much money for a forward? Do you think he's actually worth 40? Maybe last season, but this season that price, it's not fair, is it?
Well, I would say that the people who make the game probably have an understanding of how they want to balance the team, and by forcing Haaland's price out, you're forcing people out of having both Salah, De Bruyne's, and Sons, and having all of that.
Yeah.
But my issue is that Haaland did not go down in price enough when we all sold him.
Yeah.
So when we all brought him back, he went up in price. So there's that is my only issue with FPL with Haaland's
It's an
price. I can
unbalanced
handle Haaland's
inflation.
price.
Yeah.
But yes, he should have gone down in price first to balance the up in price, considering a large percentage of people sold him. But the percentages don't make sense. So they tweaked it and rose his price as they saw fit rather
Yeah,
than
because
matching any
because
statistics.
at the start of the season when he was 14 mil, he went up by point 0.1 over the last 5 game weeks and he was 86% owned. Now he's 75% owned and he's 14.4. That's crazy.
Because he dropped lower than that and then he went up again. So it's just that's for me. They should have lowered his price, then raised his price accordingly. But I think they, like I said, they're just trying to make sure that people are using not the template of Haaland, De Bruyne, Salah, and Son. Like
Mm.
if you don't, and speaking of Son, he didn't do nothing. He's come back. He's done nothing. So four
I'm glad I
points.
haven't jumped on him yet, but yeah.
Have you still got Richarlison
No, I took him out
for Jota?
for Jota. Yeah,
No,
it didn't really
he
pay
didn't
off,
score.
did it?
Well, did he score? Richarlison didn't score much this week,
I
did
don't
he?
think
No.
Richarlison scored, so
So
it
it
was
didn't really hurt you that much, except for the transfer.
yeah.
So we're
So
saying Watkins.
yeah, I'm saying Watkins. I think you need to keep in your team. Watkins, Haaland. If you can't afford a third striker, third mainstream striker, I think you got to go there. I think you'd be happy with that. I mean, if you look at Watkins, he's got Forest this week at home, then he's got Luton away, and then he goes back at Spurs. Spurs concede goals, unfortunately. It's just the way they play. And then West Ham. West Ham aren't in a great period of form at the moment, so also a good fixture. And then Wolves again at home. So it's a good run of fixtures until they face City in April. Um, I think you could keep for another month.
And you saying Bowen, bring Bowen in midfield is your answer to this.
Well, I still think that like West Ham. Look, West Ham fans are annoyed, but to be honest, West Ham are kind of where they should be. They're a mid-table club. They kind of where they are. Like, are they expecting to make Europe again? I don't know. So if they're gonna try, I mean, fair play. But I mean, to think about it, also, who does it for West Ham if West Ham scores and assists? It's either Kudus or Bowen, but more likely to be Bowen. I know they've not scored any goals in their last three fixtures, um, but I think it's time. I think they're going to turn something around. I think
I
Moyes
have
will
a
cook.
fear. I have a fear that there's something happening behind the scenes, and the fans are arguing about whether Moyes must stay, Moyes must go, and it's causing some issues. And if they do another two losses or three losses in a row, Moyes gets the sack and
Mm.
then pounce on them. That's my only fear about that.
Well, give me your top three replacements for Diogo Jota.
Saka. Okay, if if
Sucker,
if
sucker,
you don't
sucker.
have if you already have Saka, I still have someone that everybody else should maybe think about. That's Gross,
hmm
because he's not as good as Saka, but he has been giving points. Right now, have good fixtures. They can score up to 4 goals a game. As a midfielder, Pascal Gross is definitely one that people should be keeping their eye on, as I have. But I had him instead of Saka, which is my problem, which I'm trying to get Saka back in now. I think your Gordon advice is good. I think he's better than Bowen. I would
Okay.
say you should go for Gordon over Bowen. He's got more points over the last couple of game weeks. He can
Newcastle are just in a
score.
better position as well.
Gordon scores points even if Newcastle lose the game, because Newcastle still attack and they go through Gordon, and he can get an assist, or he can get a goal. He gets a bonus points even if they lose this next game against playing Arsenal. Yeah, playing Arsenal. So it's a tough game you're bringing him in for, but the best pick for me is Gross, because they're playing Everton and they got 3 easy fixtures in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Gordon, because he's got 2 easier fixtures after Arsenal, but and I'm not sold on Man United assets. I can't pinpoint with exactly who is that is the one to bring in. Aside from Holian, with now his slight injury concern, and Garnacho,
Well,
who's hit
actually,
and miss.
Ten Hag confirmed that Hoyland would be out for 2 to 3 game weeks. I think he did it today on X. There was a press
So
conference.
that's the problem now. Like I was starting to go, everyone was starting to go, is Holian the next thing to bring in? And then he does that. So it's not his fault, but I'm staying away from Man United. Like you said, how do we know what the team dynamics going to be
Mm.
like without him, who's been
Yeah.
actually helping them find their form? Speaking about defenders, though,
Mm.
like my problem is I'm sitting with this Matty Cash here, is wasting my money,
No,
wasting my
keep
time.
him. You know what? I read an interesting stat the other day. I think next to Porro or someone, he's the second most rated player to likely get assists because of
Yeah,
how
but
many
doesn't get
chances.
anything.
I
I've
know.
seen him play.
I
He
know.
gets right up into the box and he plays like a winger. It's insane what he does on the field. But this is his last points.
They don't score
Two
three.
zero 1 1 1 0 0 1
Yeah.
2 1 0 1. That is his last. He hasn't scored. He hasn't hauled since like he got 5 points in game week 10. He actually hasn't hauled since like game week 3. He's been a failure in terms of FPL
Do
assets.
you hold him
But
against Fulham though?
I hold him this week. He's playing Nottingham Forest, and I
Hmm.
hold him because I'm have to fix my mistakes from last week.
Oh
So I don't
yeah,
have
true.
time to fix my defense. And honestly, people are starting to say defenders are not making clean sheet points consistently. You can't justify when they're going to make attacking returns. So don't
Yeah.
stress too much about your defenders. Focus on the other players. Play 3 defenders, might get attacking returns. If they don't, whoop de doo Basil. But
Sorry, I
I was
said, yeah, I said Fulham, but they played Fulham last week. Yeah, I meant Forest. Like, do you obviously hold him for another week and maybe for
I'm,
Luton?
I was gonna take him out. I
Okay,
was.
but
But now
now,
that I have to fix this Nunez and Salah problems, if I'm gonna free hit, obviously he's not going anywhere. But I think I'm leaning towards not free hitting this week. And if I'm not free hitting this week, it means I'm making 2 transfers to sort out the 2 players who aren't playing, 2 players who are playing, and I have 11 starting, 0 bench. And I think that's what I'm gonna do.
for this game week, that's good. Most people will have blanks if they don't play a chip, I think. So,
And the problem is going to be bringing Salah back in because I'm probably going to kick Salah out. What do you think about kicking Salah out for Saka?
well, I kicked him out already. So,
Salah.
a long time ago, I kicked him out 2 weeks ago because he was rumored to be injured. Klopp wasn't sure of his minutes, so I was like, okay, I'm trusting Klopp. I took him out. He starts, he scores, but then he gets injured again. So I'm like, it's okay. It's a bit of a
He's going to
catch
play
22, but
against Chelsea. I'm sure of that.
yeah, but then
I'm
he'll get
sure of
injured
that.
again. I had a chat
That's
to Benchel and I said, listen, you better take this man out, please. So, okay. So I think you go Saka at the moment. I'm not convinced in Salah's minutes, and I'm going Son over Salah as well. So I would go Saka this week.
Saka this week and then rebalance your team later
Yeah,
to get
because
Salah
you
back
also
in
got a
if he's fit.
Spurs blank, so you don't have to worry about Son this week as well. Speaking of which, what do you do with Porro? Do you hold him until March, or do you get rid of him now in Feb at the last 2 weeks of Feb?
For me, uh, and we're at the point in the game now where holding players is not going to work because we cutthroat times now. Like you're like 30 points ahead of me, which can change in 1 or 2 good game weeks for me.
Yeah, we only
And
have
I get
12 weeks
overly.
left of the season.
You don't have time to waste with players on the bench because you're going to play you already that keeping Paro cost you because you didn't play your bench boost because of that.
Mm, mm,
Right?
mm.
So it's already cost you 15 points of Watkins. How much more points is it going to cost you?
Yeah,
Right?
true.
Are you not going to be playing your bench boost at some point over the next couple of weeks? And is he going to be sitting there taking up time?
No.
Speaking of time,
I was
we just create added
about,
time.
I was about to say, you beat me to it. Well, there we go. There we go. Okay. Well, we've kind of spoken ourselves through the depression of last game week. We've kind of spoken through our plans to recover for this coming week. I'm going to take a -4. I don't think I'll play a free hit. I don't think I need to do anything more than a -4 to get everyone to start again. So I'm okay with how that's going to work out. You might also take a
I'm
-4.
going to
You
do the
tossing up
same
a free
thing.
hit.
I'll take a -4, but the only reason I'm taking -4 is because I have 3 City players playing already. And I have Solanke. So what's the point in playing my free hit when
Oh,
half my team
exactly.
is already
Same.
there?
There we go.
So I'm going to take the -4, get 11 players who are playing, have 0 bench. That's fine. The question is now, I'm gonna not be stubborn. I'm putting my hands up and I'm saying, I made a mistake bringing Nunez in. I made a mistake bringing Salah back in. You guys can go out, and I
Hmm.
will rebalance my team with Liverpool and Spurs players post next week.
Yeah.
We'll see what Liverpool injuries look like. We'll see if Spurs start hitting form,
And,
then find their form again.
yeah. And for those of you who aren't aware or too clued up with price rises, there is a price decrease for Jota and Nunes tonight. So if you are going to make a change, get ahead of it now.
I'm doing it right. I'm clicking the transfer.
Just click the
Done,
transfer out button.
done.
It's they dropping. They are injured. It's confirmed. It's done. Don't bother holding. Porro as well. You can hold because he's got a blank this week, so it is safe. But if he's going to affect your team, maybe look at a move. Um, to close, any captaincy choices? Who's your
Ooh,
captain this week?
I was about to say to you, I do not know. Do you captain Watkins against Forest? Do you captain Saka against? I-
Newcastle.
can Saka really score 15 points 3 games in a row? Can he really do that? Is it even possible?
Well, he's been hauling, so
Yeah,
he's
but
due a
3 games
blank.
in a
He's
row,
no, I was gonna say he's
statistically.
due a blank. He's due a blank.
Jeez.
Like 10, 9, 15, 15. That's crazy. It's absolutely.
Bournemouth, Bournemouth are rubbish, but I don't know what type of city's coming tomorrow, like this weekend. I don't know what type of city. Are we getting Haaland? Are we getting KDB? Are they coming back with a vengeance after drawing against Chelsea or sitting out that game, the second game? Like Bournemouth is a good team to captain someone against, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know. I think my gut would say that Watkins is the obvious choice without on paper. Watkins is the
Yeah,
obvious choice.
yeah, yeah.
Paper.
I tend to agree, but I have currently got my captain on Haaland, and my vice is on Watkins. Um, but currently my captain is on Haaland. I'm gonna wait until tomorrow, obviously, to see team news, any things that have been spoken about, to make sure he'll get his 4 minutes. I'm sure he will. Um, but
Yeah,
he
I'm
needs
gonna
to
do the
get
same.
form. He needs to find form. This is my theory. He needs to find form now because there's a Manchester derby next weekend. So he needs to find his
Yeah.
form now so he can haul there.
Well, I think the main concern is if we look at if we look at City's fixtures, do they have a midweek game coming up?
Euros or Champions League.
Uh, Champions League. And if I just double check, sorry, I don't keep track of Man City's fixtures because I don't care about them. Uh, they're actually playing FA Cup. They're playing FA Cup versus Luton away on the February the 27th.
So that's
So
next week.
uh, so if you were gonna think of it like this is my math coming in here. You got Bournemouth, you got Luton, FA Cup, and you got
Manchester
Man
derby.
United. Now
Yeah.
you know they're gonna pull out all the stops for Man United. You know it's coming.
Hmm.
So where you gonna race people? FA Cup,
So do you rest
which
Haaland?
means that which means that you play them versus Bournemouth, so you can rest them, so you can play them again.
Yeah. So Haaland probably starts. KDB probably starts. Foden
Yeah.
probably starts. Alvarez will start midweek. I
I would
think that's how
say
it would
of
go.
all those three players, Foden is the one less likely to start. He's
Yeah.
the one that I would start for the FA Cup
Okay.
out of those three.
Him and Alvarez with Grealish or Doku or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah. Huh? Well, there you go.
I'm doing the
Let's.
same thing as you, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm KDB. I'm gonna leave my captain on KDB, and I'm gonna watch the news and see what happens.
Yeah. Well, we're still going. I've got Haaland. He's got KDB. We'll see
Nah,
who comes out
I'm
of top.
not stopping. I'm stubborn. I told you I'll put my hands up for this Salah Nunez, but I'm not. I'm
You're gonna
stubborn
be
with
putting your hands
KDB.
up for the whole week, my friend. Now,
When KDB gets 30 points, you're gonna be hiding behind the couch.
he's
You're
gonna
gonna
say,
be
"I told
crying
you."
on the
We're
street.
podcasting from down here. Cool. Well, that's all we have time for. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like. Let us know if there's
Ask some
anything else you want to
questions
talk
if you have
about. Yeah,
questions.
ask questions, post your teams. Let us know if there's anything you're struggling with. I mean, we'll give you our best input. And join the mini league because we like competition. And I'm currently on top and I need someone to beat me because Mikyle can't. Just kidding. Just kidding.
I will
Just
be
kidding.
there. Just wait. There's still weeks left.
There is.
I'm still in the hunt. If you're in the hunt, you're still good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been in
If
this
you're within
position
50
before.
points, if you're within, it's fine. If you're within 50 points.
I was within 100 points of you with 10 game weeks to go and I beat you.
Yeah, let's not talk about that season. Let's talk about the last 2 years that I won in a row. It's okay. Oh, cool. All right. Take care, everyone. We'll see you.
Cheers. Bye.